Well, several new studies are out about the effects of alcohol that it has on men and women. So joining us this morning is our 9 News health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, so this study is really interesting. One of them actually specifically targets women, and one of them is for both, saying even one drink a day can up your blood pressure, even if you don't have issues with hypertension. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? It's kind of crazy.
It is, and so as physicians, this doesn't come all that much as a surprise to us, but we really thought that it required a lot of alcohol in order for you to start to see adverse health effects. In fact, the U.S. guidelines said women can have 1 drink a day, men can have 2 drinks a day, but this is really making us question that, because as little as 1 drink a day raised your systolic blood pressure for both genders, raised your diastolic blood pressure for men. And again, as you said, Erica, it's even in people who didn't have high blood pressure before, but if you already started to have high blood pressure, kind of pushed you over the edge.
Now, I want to ask for clarification. Is this what 1 actual drink should be, or is this 1 American drink? Because when we go to our primary care and they ask how often, or how many drinks do you have a week, and then they'll pull out the wine glass and say, where do you pour it to? They're like, actually, you've had 3 glasses, whether you know it or not.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because in Europe, the 1 drink a day is about half of what it is here in the United States. And if we went to a restaurant and they poured us half of what our usual wine glass would look like, we would feel like we've been cheated.
Yeah.
So we really do need to be mindful of the dose, because there appears to be a clear dose-dependent relationship, meaning the more that you drink, the worse it is. And for women, it seems to be worse, because if you think about our body sizes, we're smaller. So we have a smaller volume of distribution. So that same amount of alcohol goes into less volume, so to speak. We also have less of the enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, which breaks down the alcohol. That means that bad alcohol lingers longer and can cause toxic effects.
Well, and you bring up women, and we're learning from new data that it's actually affecting women in a fatal way, too.
Yes, so overall, alcohol-related deaths are increasing, both men and women. But what we're seeing is the gender gap is narrowing, which means it used to be that men die significantly more, but now we're starting to see more and more women having alcohol-related mortality. And we're talking cancer, we're talking heart disease, we're talking cirrhosis or liver disease, all kinds of different mechanisms of alcohol-related death. So again, to me, this is a wake-up call, not just about the total amount of alcohol in both genders, but also women. It's become part of our culture to keep up with the boys, to drink as much as they do.
I was just going to ask, why is that?
Yeah, do you feel like it's more so because women are actually just drinking more in general? Is that more of where this risk is coming?
Yes.
Because we are trying to keep up?
Yes, we're drinking more and we have less awareness of the risks. And so I think we need to understand that women are different than men biologically, and the way that we metabolize alcohol is different. So the amount that we are drinking, the pace at which we're drinking, needs to really be commensurate to that. And as physicians, I think we need to do a better job of now emphasizing that no amount of alcohol is safe. So that old adage of a glass of wine a day is good for your heart, we're really turning that on its head, because a lot of those studies were confounded. And if you think about how we drink alcohol, we usually do it in social settings.
Right.
Sure.
So we're eating out as well.
Right.
We could be, in a bar. It could be affecting our sleep. It makes us feel like we're socializing with others. So it could be having positive mental health impacts. So it's very hard to study alcohol in isolation in terms of what its effects are.
So we just have a few seconds left. This is a lot of information we just threw at everybody at home. It's probably information you didn't want to hear, but we have to tell you it anyway. What is the big takeaway that if we're going to remember one thing about this that we should know?
Dose dependent, 2 drinks or less a week, probably okay for both genders. But the minute you're starting to get into 3 to 6 or more than 7, you're really getting some of those incremental increases in health risks.
Now, what does it say about scotch? Because that's Ed Green's drink, Dr. Payal Kohli.
The dose of alcohol in scotch is a lot higher.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to help you out here.